Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. If you want to stay ahead of the storm and get the latest updates, be sure to follow Sky Alert USA. Support us by subscribing, liking, and leaving a comment. We really appreciate you joining us, and let's dive right into the latest weather news. Breaking weather alert. Major storm system impacts southern plains, severe weather outbreak, and polar vortex disruption. February 14th, 2026. Good evening, and welcome to Sky Alert USA. I'm bringing you critical weather information for Saturday, February 14th, 2026, and the forecast for the next 3 days across the United States and Canada. We have multiple significant weather events unfolding simultaneously across North America, including a dangerous storm system sweeping through the southern plains, an atmospheric river targeting California, severe winter weather continuing in the northeast, and the ongoing effects of a stratospheric warming event that has disrupted the polar vortex. Let's break down what you need to know to stay safe this Valentine's Day weekend and beyond. Immediate threats. Saturday, February 14th, 2026. As we speak, a developing mid-latitude cyclone is intensifying over the southern and central plains, creating a multi-hazard weather situation that demands immediate attention. This system represents one of the most significant weather events of February 2026, and millions of Americans are currently in its path. The National Weather Service Weather Prediction Center has issued a slight risk of excessive rainfall from the ArkLaTex region extending northeastward into the mid-south. What makes this particularly concerning is the convergence of two separate moisture streams, one originating from the subtropical Pacific Ocean and another drawing moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. This dual-source moisture feed is creating anomalous precipitable water values ranging from 4 to 5 standard deviations above normal, with values reaching the 99th percentile for mid-February. In simpler terms, the atmosphere is loaded with an exceptional amount of moisture for this time of year. Across portions of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Missouri, scattered to numerous showers and thunderstorms are developing. The severe weather threat kicked off late Friday night into early Saturday morning, with rainfall rates becoming increasingly intense as we move through the day. Areas east of Interstate 35 are seeing the heaviest activity pushing in during the afternoon hours. The Fort Worth and Dallas metro areas experience cloud cover increasing through Friday, with temperatures climbing into the mid to upper 70s, unseasonably warm conditions that are fueling the instability needed for severe thunderstorm development. The Storm Prediction Center has outlined risk areas for severe weather, with a 15% probability of damaging winds across portions of the region. Tornado probabilities stand at 5%, while large hail risks are also at 5%. While these percentages might sound low, they represent areas where conditions are favorable for isolated, severe thunderstorms capable of producing damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, penny-size hail, and brief tornadoes. Multiple severe thunderstorm warnings have already been issued across West Texas, including Midland, Ector, Glasscock, Crane, and Upton counties, where radar-indicated severe storms are producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. In southeastern Texas, Liberty County has been under severe thunderstorm warnings, with radar showing storms capable of producing damaging winds and the possibility of rapid tornado development. Residents are urged to remain alert and have multiple ways to receive warnings. The flood threat is equally serious. Antecedent soil conditions across much of the western portion of the threat area are extremely dry, with moderate to severe drought conditions and low relative soil moisture. However, the exceptional moisture content of the atmosphere means that even with these dry conditions, localized flash flooding remains possible where the heaviest rainfall occurs. Training thunderstorms, storms that repeatedly move over the same areas, could produce rainfall totals of 2 to 4 inches, with isolated higher amounts possible. Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Winter weather continues. While the south battles severe weather and flooding, the northeast and mid-Atlantic regions continue to deal with winter weather impacts. Snow is falling across portions of Ontario, including the Greater Toronto Area, where temperatures are hovering around 2 to 3 degrees Celsius with cloudy skies. Tonight, temperatures will plummet to -8 degrees Celsius with cloudy periods, setting up a pattern of fluctuating conditions through the weekend. Further north, in Quebec City, temperatures are bitterly cold this morning at -17 degrees Celsius with mostly cloudy skies. A few flurries are expected Saturday, with highs only reaching -4 degrees Celsius. And tonight could see temperatures dropping to -15 degrees Celsius with a 40% chance of additional flurries. This is classic mid-February weather for Quebec, the heart of winter maintaining its grip. The polar vortex disruption that began in late January continues to influence the overall pattern across eastern North America. A stratospheric warming event has effectively split and collapsed the polar vortex, releasing Arctic air masses that have been creating waves of cold weather across the continent. While we're seeing a temporary moderation in temperatures across the central and eastern United States this weekend, due to interference from a Madden-Julian oscillation atmospheric wave, this warmth is not expected to last. Major weather changes are on the horizon for the western United States, particularly California. After an extended dry spell, a potent shortwave trough is approaching the central and southern California coast, bringing with it what meteorologists classify as an atmospheric river event. Beginning Monday, February 16th, heavy rainfall will impact lower elevations from the San Francisco Bay Area southward through the greater Los Angeles and San Diego metropolitan areas. The Weather Prediction Center has issued a marginal risk of excessive rainfall for these regions on Monday, with a more confined risk area for Southern California on Tuesday, as the highest moisture flux concentrates over the Southland. There's even discussion among forecasters about potentially upgrading portions of Southern California to a slight risk for excessive rainfall, particularly for upslope areas of the transverse range, where orographic enhancement could produce exceptional rainfall totals. This system brings welcome moisture after recent dry conditions, but it also carries the potential for debris flows in recent burn scar areas, urban flooding, and travel disruptions. The snow component of this system cannot be understated. Snow levels will fall dramatically as the cold front moves inland, bringing multi-foot snowfall totals to the Sierra Nevada through next week. Higher ranges throughout Southern California could see 1 to 2 feet of snow, creating extremely hazardous mountain travel conditions and potential road closures. The same upper-level trough affecting California is also bringing significant mountain snow to the Four Corners region and the central and southern Rockies. Anomalous moisture is being funneled into these areas with precipitable water values above the 90th climatological percentile. Snow is confined to elevations above 8,000 feet, affecting mountain ranges from the Gila Mountains northward through the Sangre de Cristo Range. Snowfall rates are exceeding 1 inch per hour at times in the higher terrain, with increased upper-level forcing improving snowfall intensity. This creates dangerous conditions for mountain travel and backcountry activities. As we move into Sunday, the storm system responsible for Saturday's severe weather and flooding will continue tracking east-northeast into the lower Mississippi Valley and southeast. The threat area expands significantly, with the Weather Prediction Center maintaining a marginal risk of excessive rainfall from central Virginia southward through the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle. Widespread showers and thunderstorms will shift from west to east throughout the day, Sunday. The Mid-Atlantic region will see increasing precipitation as the day progresses, with the potential for heavy rainfall creating travel hazards along the Interstate 95 corridor from Richmond through Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, and into southern New Jersey. The severe weather risk on Sunday is lower than Saturday, with the Storm Prediction Center indicating a 5% probability of any severe weather across limited areas. However, conditions can change rapidly with these dynamic systems, and residents should continue monitoring local forecasts and warnings. Sunday night into early Monday morning, the precipitation will begin exiting the East Coast, but not before delivering significant rainfall totals to areas that have already been saturated from previous weather systems. Urban and small stream flooding will be possible, particularly in the Mid-Atlantic, where drainage systems may struggle to handle the additional moisture. Monday, February 16th, marks a significant transition day across North America. The storm system that's been affecting the southeast will finally exit the east coast, so we'll see improving conditions spreading across the eastern United States. But this improvement comes with a caveat. Behind that departing storm, colder air is going to start filtering back into the region. Now, up in Canada, Monday is Family Day, which is a major domestic travel weekend across several provinces. Given the mid to late February cold risk, especially with this disrupted polar vortex regime, travellers across the Ontario and Quebec corridors should, plan for winter road impacts. The Prairie provinces, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, are looking at deep cold operational issues too, with dangerous wind chills making a return. Meanwhile, out west, Monday is when the atmospheric river makes landfall in California. This is the peak day for heavy rainfall in the San Francisco Bay Area and Northern California, with that rain shield expanding southward as the day goes on. Flash flooding will become increasingly likely in urban areas, and travelers should expect significant delays on major highways like Interstate 5, Highway 101, and Interstate 80 through the Sacramento Valley. The Sierra Nevada will be experiencing blizzard conditions on Monday, with heavy snow, strong winds, and near-zero visibility. Interstate 80 over Donner Summit and Highway 50 over Echo Summit will likely face closures or chain requirements. Backcountry avalanche danger will be elevated to high across many mountain zones. Looking ahead, an expansive upper-level ridge is forecast to build from the southern plains to the Midwest through the middle of the week. This ridge will bring widespread above-normal temperatures and breezy conditions. Cities from Kansas City to Chicago to Detroit can expect temperatures 10 to 20 degrees above normal for mid-February, with daytime highs, potentially reaching the 40s and 50s Fahrenheit. Tuesday, February 17th, brings a general calming of weather conditions across much of the United States, though California continues to deal with the backside of the atmospheric river event. Southern California sees the more confined marginal risk area for excessive rainfall as the system's moisture tap slowly weakens. The eastern United States will be under the influence of high pressure, bringing the first truly quiet day in over a week for many communities. Temperatures will be near or just a bit below normal as the brief warm-up from the weekend gives way to more seasonable February conditions. Honestly, it's a good day for cleanup and recovery operations in areas affected by earlier severe weather and flooding. In the northern tier states and across Canada, winter weather remains entrenched. Quebec City could see temperatures struggling to reach -1 degree Celsius with a mix of sun and cloud, while overnight lows dip back to -10 with cloudy periods. Toronto will see similar conditions, with highs around 6 degrees and overnight lows near freezing, accompanied by a 30% chance of flurries or rain showers. Western Canada, particularly British Columbia, continues to experience its own weather challenges. Vancouver faces rain for roughly half the days in February, and Tuesday is no exception, with periods of rain and temperatures in the 2 to 5 degree range. The coastal mountains continue to receive heavy snow at higher elevations from Pacific storm systems. The atmospheric pattern over the North Pacific maintains a strong blocking high, which is helping to redirect storm systems toward the west coast. This pattern is expected to persist through the remainder of February, bringing badly needed moisture to drought-stricken areas, but also creating ongoing flooding and avalanche concerns. Looking beyond the immediate 3-day forecast, the stratospheric warming event and polar vortex disruption remain the dominant story for the extended outlook. While the Madden-Julian Oscillation atmospheric wave is temporarily shielding parts of the central and eastern United States from the full impact of the Vortex Collapse, this interference is not permanent. Latest ensemble guidance from the European Centre for Medium-Range Weather Forecasts shows a pattern reversal developing over the United States and Canada by the start of the last third of February. This really confirms the transitional nature of the current warmth, with the temperature drop expected to return as the MJO wave dissipates. The connection between the disrupted stratosphere and the surface is forecast to re-establish, potentially opening the door to new rounds of cold air in late February, extending into early March. A blocking high over northeastern Canada and Greenland is expected to persist, while a low-pressure trough over the western United States brings a northerly flow and colder air masses from western Canada into the western US. Canada's long-range models support continued cold air dominance through the remainder of February. The prairies face particular challenges with Alberta clippers, bringing whiteout conditions and blizzards. Eastern Newfoundland, Labrador and Quebec can expect multiple nor'easters, while southern and eastern Ontario face frequent snowstorms and lake-effect snow events. Given the multiple hazards affecting different regions, here are some crucial safety messages for each area. For those in the severe weather zone, have multiple ways to receive warnings, including no AA weather radio, smartphone apps, and local emergency alert systems. If a tornado warning is issued, immediately move to the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows, and cover yourself with blankets or a mattress. Never try to outrun a tornado in a vehicle. For those facing flooding, never attempt to drive through flooded roadways. Just 6 inches of moving water can knock you off your feet, and 1 foot of water can sweep away most vehicles. Turn around, don't drown is not just a slogan, it saves lives. For winter weather areas, avoid unnecessary travel during heavy snow and blizzard conditions. If you must travel, carry emergency supplies including blankets, food, water, flashlights, and a fully charged phone. Dress in layers and cover all exposed skin to prevent frostbite in extreme cold. For California atmospheric river, stay informed about flash flood warnings, especially in burn scar areas. Have evacuation plans ready and know your routes. In the mountains, do not travel unless absolutely necessary, and never venture into the backcountry without proper avalanche safety equipment and training. February 14th through 17th, 2026, represents a complex and dangerous weather pattern affecting virtually all of North America. From severe thunderstorms and flooding in the south, to ongoing winter weather in the northeast and Canada, to a major atmospheric river event in California, the diversity and intensity of these weather hazards demand respect and preparation. The disrupted polar vortex continues to influence our weather pattern in ways that will persist well beyond this immediate forecast period. While we're seeing temporary warmth in some areas, winter is far from over, and the potential for significant cold air outbreaks remains elevated through the end of February and into early March. Stay informed, stay prepared, and stay safe. Monitor your local National Weather Service forecast office for the most specific and up-to-date information for your area. Download the FEMA app, sign up for local emergency alerts, and make sure your emergency supplies are ready. Weather can change rapidly, and the difference between safety and danger often comes down to preparation and quick action when warnings are issued. This is Sky Alert USA, keeping you ahead of the storm. Stay weather aware,